Access Media, well, it's not necessarily them. I guess they're part of it because they're the ones, I guess, reading or writing the article, excuse me. But believe it or not, there are people trying to spin the Halo series as a success. Not even joking. There are people out there trying to spin that dog water as a success. So it was DOA. I told y'all it was DOA. But, people gave it a chance, as they always do. And then they found out that it was dead on arrival. But I'm not even joking. I saw this article from CBR, and I was like, they're really trying to spin this as a success. And look at this title. Halo is Paramount's second biggest original series. So that's like, imagine that rhetoric. That's the rhetoric is basically, they need to convince the people that this was a success. So that's what they're running with. It was Paramount Plus's second biggest original series. Paramount's television adaptation of Halo has proven to be a major hit. For the streaming service. According to Variety, Halo is one of the most watched original series on Paramount Plus. Second to 1883. I ain't even heard. It was a spinoff of the Yellowstone. Okay, gotcha. However, 1883 is still Paramount Plus's most watched original series. Halo's March 2022 premiere did top 1883's December 2021 debut. So the debut was better, but this, I guess, concurrent viewers or whatever wasn't. I want to see the numbers, by the way. See, this is what the whole streaming platforms allowed these guys to do. They allowed them to muddy up the numbers, and then we got to take their word for it. Because you do get external platforms that are able to keep up with certain type of data because they're looking at it like, well, people looked at on this app on our platform, therefore we can. But the true data we never get. Y'all realize that? Like Disney Plus can say, well, it was the most success. It had we just had to take their word for it. And that's what it not like a lot of this stuff not being on TV and series allowed them to do. Movie theaters allowed them to do, to just say that. But then I'm like, what else is on Paramount Plus anyway for them to say that? Like, what does that mean aside from 1883? Streaming services Star Trek lineup as well as on there. Well, that's been dead on arrival too. Halo was effectively become a tentpole title for Paramount Plus. Interest in the show's March premiere led to an uptick in subscriptions, in addition to the series being a big hit in the United States. Variety explains that Halo has been a cornerstone of Paramount's international rollout. Shows already exceeded expectations in Latin America, so it exceeds expectations. I'm all about success being contained, guys. I'm all about you setting expectations and the success being based upon that as opposed to like other people. But come on, with a mega corporation, I think, I don't know about that. You can't just say, well, it's a success in our eyes. It says that as licensed Halo markets, Paramount Plus does not currently cover. Okay, so they're talking about other areas, Africa and stuff, New Zealand. Developed by Bungie, Microsoft Game Studios, the Halo original, Halo Combat Evolved launch, blah, blah, blah. That's not telling us nothing. Now they're talking about 343. So it says in February, a month before its debut, the show landed a preemptive season 2 despite some backlash from fans who take the exception to the adaptation's departure from the source material. That's a pretty big deal. They just throw that in there. Halo has been met with positive reception from critics overall, currently holding a 70% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. The critics are bought and paid for it. Let me see this. Hold up. Let's see this. I want to look at something real quick. So the audience score, all right, I just wanted to make sure. So the audience score is lower than the critic score. So they're looking at it, and 70% is like average, right? It's a C, right? So the fact that they worded it in a way like, oh, it's just killing it, right? Mostly positive reviews, and I guess technically that's true. But it's not like it's like in the 90s or some shit. But either way, it's the critics, man. Who the hell takes critics anyway serious? It's like one or two of them that may be okay, but the vast majority of them are like, it's access, man. We know that access media is a thing, man. It's people that they'll criticize some things. They'll be critical of some things, but only in certain degrees. And when it comes to certain studios, certain degrees. Meaning that I'm not going to grill it as much as I should because my access is determined by it. So if I came out and said this is dog shit, it's terrible, fuck this, don't go see it, well, you're probably not going to get invited to the red carpet premiere anymore. You're probably not going to get the early access. You're probably not going to get the interviews. It's the stuff a lot of these guys' income and revenue stream relies upon. This is insane that they are spending. That was my first time seeing that. So I hadn't been keeping up since the first kind of, I haven't watched this. I'm not saying that. But from all accounts, even the normies are like, yeah, this is pretty bad. Even normies, they don't even get involved in like culture war stuff. The normies are like, yeah, it's pretty bad. So when I saw that, I was like, that's pretty surprising that they're trying to spin this as a success. And they are. So according to CBR, though it's not, it's more CBR just covering what Variety said. And that's what the access media types do. It's a huge success, guys. Huge success. Yeah, okay. You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Cannon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.